I've seen it people, I've seen little boys turn into men. I've seen some girls I knew who could make me sweat, but they won't be pretty again. I've seen every type of Romeo trying to do a show-me show with nothing but his dick in his hand. If I was in a movie now, I'd have to play the old man. And I don't like getting fat, no. I hate to see my arms jiggle, but right now working out, it doesn't fit into my schedule. But Sadie told me someday she would see me again, so be a good person till then. I look for you in windows, I've looked for you in many dirty magazines. I've been heroes, sure, I've been villains more, but I mostly be in betweens. Now every time some punk comes up, says he's thunking something up, I've learned to roll my eyes. But I say I hope you make it, but I'd love to be surprised. Then at night I jot a few notes down while I am on the elliptical. The scale says I've already lost 5 pounds. Do you think it's noticeable? But Sadie told me someday she would see me again, and said be a good person till then. I think of you at least twice a day, every day. Anyway, what I mean to say is that sometimes fate fucks up how you got the job and I got the shaft. You move off to movie land, not to come back with your actor's life, actor's checks and boy haircut, real short. Though I know it's not a career that makes us who we are. Still in a strange way, it has a large part to play in helping us find our identity. So you married him and I married her, and we both started lives, not together. Just the other day my wife found a box of letters in the closet. She said, what's this? I said, oh, nothing, just a box of papers from high school or something. I took it from her while she wasn't looking. I locked it in a more safe spot. You know I hate keeping secrets. I really do love my wife so much. Still in a strange way, you had a large part to play in helping me find my identity. So I can't let you go. Oh no. My days are short now, I'm asleep more than I'm awake. There's more of a chance that we'll meet in dreams than there is when I'm awake. Now when that boy that's made of me comes in with his Batman tee and says, hey man, you wanna wrestle? I say your dad's asleep right now, maybe in a little while. Then at noon when I finally do start to move, I head straight for my favorite room and eat a bit more than I think I should. Eating really does help me feel good. But Sadie told me someday she would see me again, and said be a good person till then. crossed his legs in a casual stance. He felt a lot in his heart, he couldn't feel in his pants. He took a pill twice a day in case circumstance threw him a bone. Salt palmetto, biotin shampoo. He spent a lot of time learning there was nothing he could do. The European hats and the beard he grew gave him a look all of his own. And he drove a red Corvette. He liked to think about that. Anybody ever ask him if he drove a red Corvette? They say I do, as a matter of fact. And when he brought up to the board the question of the school uniforms, the women agreed by nodding their heads, and the men did the best not to grin and said yes. That sounds good as he was. You know, he never found cause to brag. Believe me, he could if he wanted to. And when he was walking past the lockers, he swore he heard Suzanne whisper that Mr. Green, he's so cool. He was so cool. He was so cool. He was so cool. He was so cool. La da 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 da. He was so cool. He crossed his legs in a casual stance. The sleepy chaperone sat amongst the potted plants as he sipped something pink and said what they call a dance. I call something else. Mrs. Hurst, the nurse, said yes, but I enjoy it. Coach Greg tapped his leg, no, he wasn't above it. Mr. Green said he'd seen something in National Geographic that reminded him of the way the black girls dance. Boy, did he ever enjoy it. Everybody loves to watch black girls dance. Everybody loves to watch black girls
dance. Get down, shorty, shake that funny maker.
He was nearly famous once, playing mostly B-side cuts. Yeah, Spin and Steve played the songs you knew and loved, but didn't hear on the dial that much. And as his backside grew, so did his blue tattoo, which drew S&M and a heart forever. But he married Jim and S married Heather. Either way, it was funny. More importantly, it was cool. He was so cool. He was so cool. He was so cool. He was so cool. La da 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 da. He was so cool. Oh, Steve, please, as you go, could you refill these? Why, most certainly he would, but he would not. He forgot. Seeing Suzanne spinning a satin dress, the strobe struck a cheek and the sweat on her chest. How much longer could it take it? He made a beeline towards the toilet to have some private thoughts in private.
She is such a lovely lady,
with lovely eyes
and with just the perfect body.
Praise the Lord. He spread his legs in a primitive stance, let relax the muscle he had held in the flex, then addressed the mess that was fresh on his hands. The with soap and hot water. He checked his teeth and all, but before he did leave, he heard a shriek from the stall like you wouldn't believe. Was this a real danger call or just a joke on Steve? He wondered, should he even bother? But boy, was he glad that he did. For tape to the toilets he lid, where the hands and ties and the purple thighs of the special needs kid. In a mad attempt to come undone, that boy had nearly bit off his tongue. Steve's shirt and face got soaked in blood as he cut through the tape and said, hang in there, bud, then picked him up like a baby. We're gonna make this right, you hear me? Somehow or some way, these cowards are gonna have to pay, he told the Sea-High Press in an interview. But even in the midst of his passion, they say he never lost his ration. He didn't get down or dejected, he remained calm and collected. Most of all, he stayed cool. H-E-W-A-S-S-O-C-O-O-L, he was cool. H-E-W-A-S-S-O-C-O-O-L, he was cool. La-da, la-da. H-E-W-A-S-S-O-C-O-O-L, he was cool. H-E-W-A-S-S-O-C-O-O-L, he was cool. La-da. A miracle indeed, said everyone but me. The first time I met him, he had just shaved and had red bumps all down his neck. He said hello, then his name. I shook his hand and I did the same. I was very well pleased. He said, ma'am, after his yes and no's, which was very rare those days. But I could appreciate something like that, for it was the way I was raised. William, William, a miracle indeed, said everyone but me. I don't go looking through my daughter's things. I never wanted to be one of those. There's nothing more than trust a mother can gain. Plus you can't keep quiet about anything that goes on in the world. So when she said, oh, it's nothing, Ma, I didn't think I was hearing a lie. But like these things always do, what's true comes out in time. William, William, and he's so good with children. They sit upon his knee and pretend they're riding horses when they're sitting on his knee. Said everyone but me. Most times the good deeds go unseen. Sometimes everybody's got a camera. Maybe it was timing, maybe it was luck, maybe it was grace combined with that human stuff. There's nothing such as accidents, I know. But they stood and cheered when he walked in the room. It seemed that everybody was his friend. Before he could blush and say it's really too much, he closed his eyes and he counted to 10. William, William. A miracle indeed, said everyone but me. I was listening to Coltrane's Love Supreme when the telephone rang in the other room. It rang and it would not stop. And by the time I found the answer, they hung up. I sat down in the chair to catch my breath. But I stood up soon when I saw lit by the moon two men speaking by the front door. When they saw me, they stopped and they quickly drove off in a car I'm sure I'd seen before. Will you, won't you, do you, don't you feel? Willy-nilly, here's the house key. Will, William, William. And he's so good with children. They sit upon his knee and pretend they're riding horses when they're sitting on his knee. Said everyone but me. Most nights I hit the lights and fall straight to sleep. Lately I can't turn my mind off. I toss and I turn till I fall out of bed.
Did I hear what I heard? Was what was separately said.
Maybe I'm just getting old. And every time I bring it up to her, she just laughs and says, really, Ma, it's fine. But like these things always do, what's true comes out in time. William, William, la da da, la da da, la da da da, William. Oh, William. Why don't you try to improve your situation? Why do you look still through yesterday's stuff? The man that you knew so little of you. The man that you knew was ugly and rough. Why don't you remember the men who treat you better? I can think of 3 now, no nearly of 10. The ones that you've got, such an unwanted lot. The ones that you've not, want once again. And as you think to yourself of the worst and of the best, you ask of his image to visit you less. But it's there in your system, and waking and rest, the source of your sorrow when your happiness as your doctor sings the songs in the bathtub. It gets harder, you say, to live a lie at my age. I was young before, was wrong before, I'd never had a man before, a love-fighting matador. I'd wave the red flag, then jump out of the way. But now I've come to the end, but never again, never again. Please spare me the magic of the way he treats your subject. How that each time you're made more like yourself. In passion or pain, we each seek out something. And each thing we seek something else. But there's a beacon just peeking, it's heading on the ceiling, and you don't know for sure, but you've got a feeling that that beacon is speaking to you. And you know what it's saying, and you know what it's saying is true as your doctor sings the songs in the bathtub. It gets harder, you say, to live a lie at my age. I was young before, was wrong before, I'd never had a man before, a love-fighting matador. I'd wave the red flag, then jump out of the way. But now I've come to the end, never again, never again. I'd like to steal some more of your time. Pack your galoshes in a suitcase with mine. It started out as nothing, then grew to be more. I'll hold your hand as you walk through my door. Lay down right here if your head is in pain. You can share all my pillows, you can share my name. Sometimes this life's more than one can bear. I'll hold your hand as we say our prayers. I can see you squealing in a field of wet grass as I turn off the sprinklers and our children run past. They start out in diapers, now they wear suits and ties. I'll hold your hand when they bring home their wives. Long time from now, these lips will be dirt. My bones, they'll be rotten, but our spirits, they'll still work. I'll love you, my wife, in that unearthly state. Oh, and I'll hold your hand as we walk through that gate. Rick, I tick-tock, Rick, I move like all the people that we grew up with. We tried to be a original species, but we were seduced by that whole pop culture scene. And now we're just like everything. Yeah, you and I are like that guy we saw today inside the train, made a joke about. But you disagree and say to me, no, Jimmy, do you think that guy's read such and such by so-and-so? Do you think he's got the connections and knows the folks that we know? You're right, no. But you know you're glad to know me. Sammy Spencer's sister told me that the father has a sweater you would look good in. He's just outgrown it, but the fabric's practically perfect. Not only that, with your new hat and fine facial hair, you would look like an Irishman. And the Irish are stylish, you look good in the gym, and I promise success with any girl you pursue. Now just a touch on the neck with my scented rag. God, I smell like a pimp and I look like a fag. Excuse me, sir, is that seat taken? My God, Jim, it's already working. What's working? The power of being in style.
Style. Style. Style.
Now Jim and Linda, they became fast friends. As it happens, both of them saw the same movie last week. Neither one of them liked the way it ended. Well, that just opened up Pandora's box. I mean, really, who would have guessed that they both had 2 arms, 2 legs, both like Elizabeth Taylor, and both are recently divorced. And before this watch could tick, Jim leaned over to Rick and said, now what's the point of life anyway? I mean, we're heading to the office, gray walls and black numbers, when it's such a beautiful day. And Linda said, I like to eat food while sitting in the grass. A picnic sounds good to me if it sounds good to everybody else. And it sounded good to everybody else. Picnics usually sound good to most people. Meanwhile, Rick's house, daytime exterior. There's pirates on the pavement. Will the witness make a statement? She's deaf and dumb and blind. No, I don't think she'll speak. What's her name? Helen Keller? I'm not sure. Check on the caller. I told you boys 1,000 times. Why must I repeat? Please don't play with strings. But Mother sees she's quite friendly. She's come to solve the mystery of who sunk a pirate ship. The boy kissed the dog's new best friend. The dog kissed the boy's teeth, broke the skin.
Dog bites. It hurts, Mom.
See what happens when you disobey. Why me? I have things to do today. Rick's wife Sharon, yes, the mother of the bitten, asked herself if she was pulling out of the driveway. Why me? There's so much more I could be. I'm just Rick's wife Sharon and the mother to these children that tell me to feed them and to change their sheets. And just last night Rick told me if he lived in a different age, he would have a concubine and he would have a slave. And maybe that's all I am to him. Yes, it makes sense now. And maybe once I get these boys checked in, I'll check myself out. Myself out. La da da. Gonna set out walking, but I don't know where. And I know that I found it once I get there. I hope I found someone who's got a place I can love. And I might find no one, but I might find God. I'm gonna set out walking, but I don't know where. And I know that I found it once I get there. There, I hope I find someone who's got a place I can lodge for the night. And I might find no one, but I just might find God. Hey, Mom. Yes, son. I saw Dad. Turn the bleeping car around. What do you mean you saw your dad? He was eating food on the ground with Jimmy and a lady whose hair was brown. You mean to say you saw your pa, real thin hair, about 6 foot tall? You bet, Mom, that's the one. I know him well, I am his son. She pulled out her mobile phone, made an illegal U-turn. That's such and such that you know what, it rang and it didn't pick up. She pulled him to the park where he lay next to Linda and Jimmy. Philosophers in the grass, Daniel Dennett's talking about the world and the people in it. Could you pass the cheese? Yeah, here's a slice. Would you like some bread? Sure, that'd be nice. The conversation came to a halt. Jimmy tapped Rick and he looked up. Sharon, my dear, what are you doing here? Rick I came to ask you the same thing. You know we're low on dough. Alright, don't talk so loud. Who is that bluesy girl? Ah, she's Jimmy's new pal. Why don't you just go home and we can talk about it later on? Alright, tell me what's wrong. Your son was bitten by a dog. And by the way, the credit company called. And by the way, we might need a new commode. And by the way, your son's t-ball game, it was delayed and moved to Saturday. But Saturday is my day to relax in the yard, have a few drinks and think about the world. Sometimes I even draw a leaf. But more importantly, Saturday is my day to be me. Every other stinking day of the week, I'm just being what they want me to be. Don't you take a Saturday from me. He said this all very angrily, as if Sharon was the enemy. But here the camera pan, a medium close-up of Jimmy's meaty hand as he reached for the wine and touched Linda's leg, but played it off just fine, as if it wasn't planned. Then they met eye to eye and up struck the band. A man walked by, he waved his hand and said hi. Jimmy didn't see it, wonder why. He was on his way to meeting Linda's lips. He was on his way to touching Linda's tits. He was on his way to feeling good inside. He was on his way to loving life. He was on his way to seeing a human being, a something more than a specimen. He was on his way to falling in love. Alright, I said, it's plain to see there's something changing inside of me. He took off his sweater, he was feeling sweaty. He left on his hat, cause his hair was greasy. Let's get on back to the city. Do you like my flat? It's very pretty. And just like that, a family. Come inside me. Come and take this ride with me. I wanna know.
Don't need no university.
It's not for show.
This purpose that possesses me.
Come inside my heart and my mind and show me what it's like to be a human being. I want everything to come in me. I love to learn. I love to learn what it's like to be Sharon, to be Rick, to be a drop of rain or an elephant. Oh yeah. There was a time in my life I was sure I was right. I thought I'd seen everything when I'd only seen a little bit. Oh yeah. Come inside me. Come take this ride with me. Why don't you come inside of me? Come and take this ride with me. Why don't you come, baby, come inside of me. Why don't you come on and come.